Hello everyone. This guy's doing pretty well. Isn't it smart to make a nest in a cactus that scares off predators with its spines? Actually, animals live in all sorts of places. In poisonous corals, in nests made of saliva, and in makeshift skyscrapers. If you want to know more, subscribe to the channel and we'll tell you everything. Let's get it on. Take a look. This is the only spider in the world that lives underwater. Nevertheless, he still needs oxygen, like all of its kin. So in order to survive, this sly creature built a nest from air. The secret is that the hair on the spider's belly is lubricated with a special hydrophobic substance. You know, like the one they use to protect shoes during the rainy season. But this, of course, is not enough. To build a house, the animal has to work hard for a long time and literally catch some air. Do you think this thing looks like some weird veggie dish? Well, something like grass samosa. Actually, this is an ant nest. Turns out that they can not only carry heavy weights, but also weave. To weave two leaves together, tiny insects gather in a team and glue them together with silk. But only a select few can do this. This ant species is called the weaver ant. Forgot this buddy yet? Meet the ferruginous pygmy owl, who doesn't like easy ways. While other owl species prefer to nest in the hollows of trees, this one chooses huge cacti. Which, however, is only reasonable. The bird lives in the hot regions of North and South America, so the plants look the part. Seems like the owl just wants to tell the cameraman, ain't that cool? Well, yes it is. You could Photoshop a revolver in the leg of this bad guy, and it'd be a nice scene for some western.
You're a dead man.
An insect called the caddisfly can definitely say, "My home is my fortress." Check out how these hard workers drag a whole bunch of stones on them. These are the walls of their compact shell. To build a portable nest, caddisflies use silk they produce themselves, sand, pebbles, branches, shells, and leaves. But one thing is still not clear. Why do they have to carry all of this stuff with them? Well, it's simple. In case of danger, the insect simply climbs into the house. Only the head remains outside. It's covered with a thick layer of chitin. This way you'll be safe from all predators. This bird moves almost like a real tailor. 1, 2, 3, and the leaf is covered with smooth stitches before you know it. Only instead of a needle, the bird has a beak, and instead of a thread, cobwebs or grass. The most amazing thing is that when the material runs out, the bird makes a bead, just like a real tailor. And then it fills the leaf with soft fluff, and the nest is ready for the chicks. Turns out that there are many introverts among animals, so you're not the only one who wants to sit at home watching YouTube without anyone bothering you all day.
That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
The blue orchard bee looks nothing like its honeybee relatives. The latter live in close-knit families, while this one prefers solitude. This insect builds its shelter on its own, from ordinary mud. Beekeepers respect its way of life and build a separate nest for each bee. Seems like these guys learned from social distancing long before us. Bowerbirds are the real pickup champions in the animal world. This gentleman, for example, decided to go all in right away and show off his wealth to the lady. But where did he get all this stuff? Even the bowerbird doesn't probably remember anymore. For many months, he's been flying around the neighborhood, collecting the brightest objects, plastic little things and shells and flowers, all of this just to impress the chosen one. Though there's no guarantee that she'll appreciate such efforts. After all, she has quite a lot of suitors. We suspect some kind of occult ritual has just happened here. What is this strange fence with a peg in the middle? Believe it or not, this entire structure was made by a tiny spider. Yes, some species of these animals sometimes get a bit carried away when they're building their nest. And it's worth the effort too. Not a single ant or tick could climb over a fence like that. Imagine you're just chilling with your bros, and then some huge giant pushes you with his enormous finger. The fun is ruined. Seems that Peter Parker had something to do with that. No, seriously, can an ordinary spider build such a giant web?
As long as we don't break the bags, they'll stay in there.
The creature who made this doesn't really look like a tarantula. It's much smaller than other 8-legged insects. Huge cobwebs are woven by a caterpillar species to protect its future offspring from predators. In the wild, this doesn't bother anyone, but gardeners simply can't stand these creatures. After all, the caterpillar usually chooses fruit trees, eating their branches clean. There are some birds called cave swiftlets. They live only in some Asian countries, and only inside the caves. The growths on the walls of the cave are actually the nests of the swiftlets. They build them from the most available material, their own saliva. But this is not the most important thing. Surprisingly, in Asia, such nests are considered real delicacies. Although, is it really that surprising? Yes, some gourmets are ready to pay a fortune for such a strange chip. To be precise, about $2,000 for 3.3 pounds. Most often, these snacks are dissolved in water, where they turn into a gelatinous mass. Well, after that, they're used in drinks, soups, and desserts. Yummy. Finding Nemo showed us that clownfish can be very shy and nervous, unlike their habitat. Turns out that these guys love to settle inside anemones, coral polyps that can turn any small fish into sashimi in a matter of seconds. So how come they don't attack the red fish? It's simple. They are in a symbiotic relationship. Clownfish secrete a special protective mucus that makes them invulnerable to the poisonous tentacles of the anemones. This makes anemones a good shelter for them. Well, in gratitude, they act as sort of housekeepers. They filter the water and feed on undigested food from their host anemones. More than 30 feet. This is how high large termite mounds can be. Millions of termites live inside them. In terms of scale, building a termite mound is more like creating a huge stadium for the Olympics. The important thing is that termite mounds are not only large, they also have thousands of tiny holes inside them. This is necessary so that the air can circulate freely through the mound and cool it. This discovery inspired some architects so much that they even decided to apply the solution in real life, and they built a commercial building in Zimbabwe based on it. They say that it provides excellent protection against heat as well. Admit it, you also thought that kangaroos' pouches looked like a cute belly pocket, right? Well, like the one Kanga from Winnie the Pooh has. Well, your life will never be the same again. Turns out that in real life, this sight is not for the faint of heart. By the way, not just Australian kangaroos, but many other marsupials have pouches, for example, possums. Sometimes the mess that someone leaves behind them turns out to be very useful for others. Cliff swallows use the lumps of dirt left on the ground by the buffalo and build huge houses out of them. Just don't use this fact as an excuse not to clean your room. Seems like this snake is definitely up to no good. This is an insidious boomslang, aka a tree snake. This name is well deserved, given how skillfully this predator climbs the branches. Even trees with huge thorns, which some birds choose as a reliable nesting place, don't frighten it at all. What looks like a tumbleweed stuck on a tree is actually a sociable weaver's nest. The birds combine up to 300 separate nests, which resemble giant haystacks hanging from trees or telegraph poles. Together, they reach 26 feet in length and 6.5 feet in height. Hey friend, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. That'd make us happy and help you learn new stuff.